Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your girl Alana Simone. So first of all, I wanted to welcome you guys in. I hope you're having an amazing day. So today we're going to be talking about there is levels to this. And so, I think this is so important because, I think one thing that I really love about, being on a journey with God and just really having a relationship with Him is that the relationship evolves each and every day. And, it's just like a relationship with your friend, with your family, like, somebody that you may be close to or you may have grown up with. One thing about relationships is that they evolve. Like, if you were friends with somebody for, let's say, 20 years, and you guys met when you were in kindergarten, what you did at 5 years old is not what you're going to be doing at, let's say, 25 years old, okay? It's going to evolve. It's going to change. You're going to grow. You're going to learn new things. You're going to have new experiences. Like, it's so many things that happen, within that relationship. And so that's kind of like what happens with our relationship with God. Like, the relationship I had with God when I was 5 years old is not the same relationship I have with God now, because it's just, in a sense, yes, but it has definitely evolved. It has definitely grown because why? I've grown. I've gone through different experiences. I've gone through different circumstances. I've gone through so many things. So, God has been in the midst of everything my whole life. So He's seen and been with me through it all. But we've definitely grown and changed and evolved together, okay? So, we have to understand that there's levels to our relationship with God. Like, we may have accepted God into our life maybe 3 years ago. And so when you newly accept Christ and God into your life, a lot of people are like super submerged in it. They're like, oh my God, I got to read the Bible every day. I got to do all this stuff. So they're like a bunny rabbit, just hopping, trying to do everything, thing, super fast, soak it all in, which is a blessing. And, hats off to those people. But we have to, like, okay, so let's say that was 3 years ago, but now 3 years later, you may still be in that mode, okay? But you usually evolve and grow, and it just becomes a different thing. It just becomes a part of your life, like where it's just flowing and it's easier and it's just like a daily thing. So, that's kind of just really how my relationship with God is. It's something that is not forced. It's something that's not challenging. It's something that's not hard to maintain. Like, it's literally one of the easiest relationships in my life, because why? I created it and formed it how it best fit with me. And that's been the biggest blessing for me. And so God has, been a big part of my life ever since I was a baby. Like, listen, I grew up on the foundations of God, and that was rooted in me when I was younger. And I made a decision and a choice when I got of age to continue to carry and hold that relationship. Like, my parents, yes, we grew up learning and going to church and all this stuff, but it was my choice at the end of the day to continue to move forward once I got to an age where I can make decisions for myself. And I continue. So for me, I chose to keep that relationship. I chose to build that relationship. I chose to grow in that relationship, and it's been the biggest blessing of my life. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. And that's why I recommend anybody, please, okay, if you haven't already, start a relationship with God, because it's the best thing that you can do, okay? But it's just a blessing to have God in your life. It's a blessing to really follow His ways and to just have Him as the person that really gives you direction and knowledge and helps you grow and understand you. Like, He's like no other person, or he, like, me and His relationship is like no other relationship that I've ever experienced in my life. It's the best relationship, and one of the ones that I hold the closest and dearest to me, and nobody could ever take that away, okay, period. But it's just a blessing, and I just wanted to share with you, on the levels of it, because I remember, you know, my relationship with God has been since I was literally a baby. Like, yeah, if I told you like my birth story and all this stuff, it was literally all like supernatural, and it was just a blessing. Like, God knew what he was doing when he decided to let me grace this earth, okay? But listen, like, with God, like, it the relationship blesses me so much because the levels that he's taken me in it has been incredible. Like, I think this recent past year has been one of the best and hardest times in my relationship with God, because the best in the sense that he knows what's best for me, and that he really, it's like we have to know that God is God for a reason. If we fully understood him, we would like be God. We can reach out to him and lean on him for understanding, but he knows all things. Like, we're never going to know all things, but he can reveal things to us and show us things. And it's just been amazing. But my relationship with God over this past year has really grown and has really like just been so like different for me. It's been a very different experience than Alana and God's relationship when I was maybe 18. Like, now I'm 22, and it's just so different. And the growth and just the change, and just, you know, this is a blessing for where I am right now in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm so grateful that I've kept hold of this relationship, because it's been so beneficial. You know, if you don't know, I had moved away out of my parents like maybe over a year ago. And because, you know, I felt like I always asked God for guidance, and he was preparing me and let me know that I would be moving from my parents last year. And, you know, it was one thing, but, you know, one thing I appreciate is that he prepared me for it, and he really, you know, gave me steps and tools and really set me up for success, you know. And so it's been a blessing, but it's also been a very interesting time in my life, and in my relationship with God. Because why? One thing about when I lived with my parents is that I had my relationship with God, but it's like you always got your parents too to be like, run things by and be like, hey, like, what do you think of this, or like all this stuff, which I still do, and I do often, especially with my mom. But one thing I've learned now that I'm gone, moved out of the house on my own, been on my own for almost a year, you know, living literally on my own, it's one thing I've had to do is fully rely on God. And so what happened was my relationship with him got taken to a different level than it was when I was at home with my parents. Because why? He put me in a place where I had no other choice but to rely on him, where I had no other, even my parents could give me a certain guidance to a certain point, but it was a place where only person who could help me was God. The only person who I could really ask for help and ask for direction and ask for strategy was from God. He put me in a place where he increased my faith, where he increased my trust, where he increased my discernment, where he increased my sight to be able to see things that I like couldn't even imagine seeing, okay? Listen, God, the level that I've gotten taken to with this relationship now is completely different than it was a couple years ago, but it's a blessing because it's exactly where I need it to be now. And so that's one thing I really want to encourage people, is to allow your relationship with God to be able to evolve, and to be able to be flexible to change, and to be able to be open for growth and whatever he wants to do in that relationship, because it's levels, especially each season you go to in your life, each, you know, direction, whatever direction he's pulling you in, people he's bringing into your life, people he's releasing. Listen, he has a plan, and you got to be okay with allowing him to take you to another level, or take your relationship and start shifting it to be able to allow him to do what he needs to do for you in that, you know. And so me allowing him to change, start changing our relationship and start growing me and changing me and just really elevating me to the things that he has called me to do, I had to allow that to happen. I had to allow our relationship to grow and evolve and change. Because why? I knew I was getting called higher. I knew I was getting called to a different season. I knew that it was going to be different. And so I couldn't look at our relationship a year ago the same as I looked at it now, because I would have got stuck and be like, well, God, our relationship wasn't like this a year ago, so why you got me do this now? And it's like, no, because he sees where we're about to go together. He sees where he's about to take me. He sees what he's about to do. So he has to start changing some things. He has to start breaking up some things. He has to start really redirecting and reshaping the relationship so that he can teach you and mold you into the person that he has called you to be. And so that's what he did for me this past year. And let me tell you, it's been a very interesting journey. Listen, in a couple of future videos, I will definitely be sharing more of my journey, because whoo, y'all gonna hear it and be like, what in the world? And I'm gonna just be like, yeah, crazy, right? But until then, just know that I've had to grow. I've had to learn. I've had to evolve. I've had to trust. I've had to have faith like no other this past year. And it's been a blessing. And it's been hard at times, okay? Because why? Listen, sometimes it be hard. Sometimes the things that God has asked you to do and called you to do can be hard at times. Can make you feel like you're just on an island all by yourself, but in the end, he knows what he's doing. In the end, he knows where he's taking you is necessary for what he's taking you through, okay? So what we have to do is keep the faith, keep the trust, and stand strong and hold on tight to our relationship with him, and don't let it fall. Don't ever let it fall. When he wants to take it to another level, when he wants to switch levels in the relationship that you have with him, you got to allow him to do that. You got to keep on holding his hand, okay? And let him take you to the next level. Let him take you to where he knows that he intends for you to end up and be. And he got to take you. It goes like it happens within our relationship. It happens. It just, the transformation happens within the relationship we have with him. And really trusting and believing that he knows what's best and wants the best for us. So you guys just know there's levels to the relationship with God. Like each year, each day, each week, you grow closer and closer to God. The more you spend time with him, the more you do the things that he has called you to do and asked you to do. There's levels that you just start growing upon because you're in obedience to him. You're carrying out his ways. You're really walking the path that he has set out for you. So then he's like, okay, I can take them to the next level. I can take them to this level. I can take them to that level because I see what they're doing. They're being obedient at this level. They're trusting me at this level. So, okay, I'm going to take them to this level. Then they get to this level and it's like, okay, they doing it. I'm going to take them to this level. Listen, it's levels to our relationship with God. And we have the ability to unlock it. It's with our obedience. It's with our faith. It's with our trust in him. And knowing that he is with us. And if we just surrender our lives to him and our trust in him, that he will unlock these levels for us. He will take us to new levels. He will take us to new heights. He will let us see things we've never seen. He'll let us dream things we've never dreamed. He will give us insight. He will give us so many things. Listen, God wants to see our obedience. God wants to see that he can trust us. If he wants to see, not only can we trust him, he wants to see if we can trust him. And if and our trust in him then sees that he can trust us with more. And he desires to give us more. He desires to take us to new levels in our relationship with him. But we gotta do our part too. we got to want it just as bad as he wants it. We got to be obedient. We got to really do the best we can do, and he'll see that and know and honor that, and really do some things in your life that you just really couldn't imagine. Listen, the things that I've seen, the things that God has allowed me to see, that most people, I tell them I've seen this, they be like, how in the world did you see this? Listen, I said, I don't know. God then took me on a journey. He took me on, he changed something, okay, this past season, but it's a blessing because that shows me that he trusts me. That shows me that he sees that I'm doing my very best, and he's honoring and rewarding that. It starts with us. It starts with our obedience. It starts with our faith and trust in him. And he just adds on the rest. So be encouraged today. Know that there's levels to our relationship with God. There's levels to just our life and just the things that we're doing. So just make sure you're being obedient. Make sure you're doing your best. And just make sure you're staying connected with God above all else. And I guarantee you, you will start to see different results in your life. You will really start to be taken on new levels and new heights, and just be taken on a journey that you really couldn't even imagine with God. And it'll just be a blessing. So you guys, I thank you so much for being here. I really pray that this video encouraged you today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.